Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CCs, pounds. Close caps, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up, cut this up, host up, and get dosed up. This for them vote, they like to move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them vote they can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in those trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly to your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune in, liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of it, pounds, get your dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up.
Alright, so today is the 9th. It's Monday, y'all. 8 o'clock. Yesterday was the 8th. That was my birthday.
What?
So but it had to be like the most laid back birthday ever. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm starting to realize now that hitting on a Sunday, like pretty much after them payday, but when you done paid all your bills cause it was the first.
Right.
Ain't nobody had no money to chill with.
Nobody had no money to get
so,
with you.
No. So we're gonna draw this thing out, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of the month. But
got to.
Yeah, and I worked this weekend too, so I made a little bit of money. But leading into all the little birthday, you know, little shenanigan stuff, I managed to do me another skit.
I saw it.
And so multiple skits, by the way.
Okay.
You know, you try to get more bang for your buck now that I'm seeing this. That's pretty dope. Shoot multiple shots and skits if you can at the same location, or pretty much, you know what I'm saying. Improvise as you go sometimes too.
Right.
To get the most for your time at that time, especially depending on the location you have to go. Some of these shoots I'm going to are far out, like Eagles Landing and stuff like that. Yeah, Villa
that's
you know. Hey man, I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? But hey, see, I like that because that separate the men from the boys, man. It show you want this, and then I show up early. You know what I'm saying? So one, because sometimes it seems like I'm going to one of them sundown towns, so I need to feel comfortable and get a layout of where I'm at.
Right.
And then.
But you show up here early. You have never really been late.
I'm trying to tell you, like.
I mean, you show up here early, so I can see that.
It's a way to just meditate, get prepared, go over what you need to go over. Like when you show up to something and you just now getting there, like at the, you know, or you could be late almost.
Right.
Then you've already made, to me, a nervous situation or a rush situation, an elevator situation. Your mind might not be as sharp as it could be because you had time to just relax and just go over what you need to go over.
Right.
So I get there, you know what I'm saying, early, like I say. But one, because it's far out.
Right.
And I'm trying to gauge, all right, man, like, what am I really getting into?
Right.
Let me see the kind of people I'm around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is this a threatening situation? You know what I'm saying? Do I really need to be out of here at a certain time? You know, how many police are driving by? All these things I be looking at when I'm out there.
Trying to gauge the situation.
Yeah.
See how you need to adjust.
Yeah, because when you from the west side and you headed all the way out there to these towns, and I ain't never really, I don't post up that.
Right.
I might fit the description. Just saying, you know.
We all fit the
I'm
description.
trying to tell you, that's exactly what I'm saying. Now you get where I'm getting at. So.
Right, we all fit the description in them towns.
And I'm like, where y'all got me going again now?
Right.
Because I like to really go around areas that I've been around, or I'm at least a little bit familiar with.
Right.
I don't know, but no back roads, no main roads, no nothing.
No roads.
You see, I can't get in and out how I want to. you know, you GPSing all the way in that thing. I don't have to cut the GPS on so I can listen to whatever kind of music I want to now. Just vibe out. Not know, okay, hold on, let me slow down, son, because I know I got a turn coming up. Yeah. Oh, and then the lights out there in the country, you know what I'm saying?
They're a little different, ain't they?
Man.
And the speed limit. Think about that part too.
That's what. You already know. I know the speed limit, and the gas stations might shut down and close, or the distance between something is far. By that time you make that U-turn, you know, went a couple of miles.
That's true. That's true.
I say all that to say, I enjoy it myself though, you know. And these birthdays nowadays, I start reflecting, you know. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about with my topics today, kind of like reflecting on what we've accepted or what we used to, you know, how life kind of was in the past, and how things are kind of like slipping up under our consciousness, or how different generations view things, and we have to accept it, but it's like more of it, and I'm kind of like wondering why, or the sense of it, like how did it get to be? Who's dictating this? Some of it seems like it's programmed.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, I got like a little bit of topics that I wanted to just talk about, and I'm quite sure you can ask me questions as we go.
Oh, most definitely will.
And now, like, one thing I don't want to do, I'm not promoting anything. I'm not trying to, how can I say, like, offend anyone.
Okay.
And I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. I'm just saying I've noticed the change in certain the generations. Like how I could say one example would be like, how do we properly identify gender nowadays? Seeming as though so much has changed from like the 80s and the 90s,
right? As
far as how you can categorize the demographics of it. You know, I just thought like back in the day, since it was simplicity, as far as like when you were doing your physical education classes or your anatomy classes, how you could just see how like the organs were pretty much just a good indication of who and what you were, and then we go from there. Right. But now it seems a little bit more of a thought process than a scientific or a physical process.
Right. Right. What do you think that changed though? What I mean, you said 80s and 90s. What about up to 2010? You think, and then it started changing though after 2010, 2011, start rolling over.
Well, I think with the acceptance of a certain lifestyle, which none of us have, you know what I'm saying, the right to dictate what someone's preference is. Right. But I'm just saying with the acceptance of that came many different, I would say, avenues, lanes, categories, lingo, all of that. And I'm like, it's not really, is it a necessity for that? Like, and to me, for the people that don't really buy into that, or that aren't any of those, because they have like an old school or old generation type mentality. Right. It's like, we shouldn't be blackballed or shunned or treated any different because maybe we don't even understand those values because we from the old school. Right. You see what I'm saying?
And that's 100% the truth. Like most people from the old school, even myself, being 53 and being from, you know, being born in the 70s, we definitely don't mean no disrespect, but it's kind of hard to keep up with that too. It's you know, it's a lot to keep up with, and with us trying to be respectful, and we don't care what you do. That's your preference. It makes it difficult, you know, with things changing, with the letters changing and the terminology changing. It makes it difficult to keep up. So a lot of times we just give up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like we just don't even want to be involved with it at all.
I'm noticing that, you know, there's laws being involved with it, celebrations and things. And to me, as long as that's curtailed to adults, you know, and it's voluntary, it is what it is. But when you take it to twerking in front of kindergartners, now you are stepping, I say, over some boundaries. Because like I said before, generation-wise, I mean, I think you're exposing that to a generation that's not young enough to understand and handle it. But maybe that could be why that's happened. Because it has been accepted by a particular youthful mentality that now is trying to be passed on.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know if they're trying to pass it on. I wouldn't go that far as to say that. But I think the problem what we have as older folks, we think they're trying to pass on. And a lot of times they're just doing what they do. You know, they're just being themselves. And, you know, you know, like when we were younger, I'm trying to say this in the correct way because you know we seem to be getting blocked on everything lately. When we were younger, we just knew, you know what I'm saying? We just it wasn't, a lot of things didn't influence us as children. We did what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. That's just how we were. It wasn't necessarily I'm going to be influenced by this or that.
So check it out.
Just gonna do it.
Check it out. That's one of the reasons why I said conscious wise. I'm gonna make these last few points and then I'm gonna slide on to the next topic that I was talking about. But you said when you were younger you knew. Right. All right. So that's the point. Right. All young people know. Right. Because it was taught. Right. When you were younger.
Do you think it was taught to us though?
No. Here's the thing. Yeah, it was taught to you. It was taught to you in some of the books, and it was taught to you by your parents and by their actions. But check this out too. The reason why I say that is because I sent you. Or if I didn't send it to you, there is the something that was on IG where this man was answering a question about like the difference between the genders and things. Yeah, you then they had a kid. They had a kid, and she said the pelvis is what's the only thing that's like gender specific, basically, because it protects the uterus. Right. Now, a child, she had to be like 6 or 7, right? Right. So when she's going, if she knows, you see what I'm saying? Right. Then an adult knows, but if you choose to,
I get what you're saying,
change it the way that you want to change it. So that, you knew back then. Yeah. It's your job to know, or a duty to know, because you're learning. You got to learn what's going on with you so you can use it properly.
Right, right.
All right, now, the next
But you know a lot of that stuff has been taken out of school. You know a lot of that stuff
exactly
not being
just
taught
like
nowadays.
Art and physical education and all that other good stuff being taken out. And one thing I like was that home economics and wood tech and all that, you know. Right. That's like a trade. That's free trade right there. But
drafting, auto shop, remember auto shop? All that's been taken out.
So okay, what I'm trying to figure out now too is just what I can see in the past to what I see now. How does a car trigger so much rage and irrational emotions and thinking? Like, meaning like people always cutting people off in traffic, flipping another person off, yelling at each other, cursing at each other, accelerating so you can't switch lanes.
Oh, most definitely. That's a big thing, right?
Telling people too close. Right. Trying to steal somebody's parking space. Right. Being behind someone in the drive-through and wanting to curse out the people in front of you and the drive-through people. Like, the car has caused a lot of issues and beef and smoke. Not only are they used for drive-bys too.
Is it the car or is it the person in the car?
Okay, so now that's the good thing I want to know. But hold up, and see, check this out now. Right. It's both.
You think so?
I think so, man, because look at these Fast and Furious, these Grand Theft Autos, what they got in common. And drive-bys and all that. What they got in common, a person in the car. And aggression behind the wheel.
Well, let me explain it. Let me say it this way. The car can cause you to be more aggressive because you in a faster car.
Man, I'm
you
trying
in a
to
four-wheel drive truck.
Skirt.
Like, who gonna get in front of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
And them big monster trucks or something, you know, they looking down on you like, I wish you would.
I get it.
Folks pulling up in Hellcats and Demons and Dodges and Marrows. And, you know.
The car can cause you to feel more aggressive because you're in a faster, bigger car than just about anybody else. So you feel like, you know.
Need for speed.
Right. Who gonna race me? Who gonna get in front of me? Who gonna block my way? Like, do you see what I'm in?
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, the person behind the wheel has to have a lot of aggression in them too.
But okay, so it's a lot of people behind the wheel then with aggression. That's what I'm saying. Like these cars is bringing out the aggression in everybody. Then if that's the case, because you can have smoke and issues daily with this, man.
Right.
You know, like I just don't get it. And then like, it's people that'll want to race me.
Right. Oh well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, and I'm like, look, man. So what? I'm like, okay, yeah. But that don't mean that that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to get a ticket with you. Racing is dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's dangerous. I don't promote that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have a smooth ride to where I'm going to, and you know, be able to do the speed limit and enjoy myself.
I'm gonna give you a story of now. This is I don't think this is an example of not necessarily the car causing the issue, but the person behind the wheel causing the issue. It was a while back, maybe a couple of years ago, that it had snowed. It was a little snowy, a little icy outside. But we once the snow melted, we all had to start going back to work. But it was also still icy on the road. So everybody's driving a reasonable speed as far as trying not to hit black ice or whatever the case may be. So we're all driving a reasonable speed. This guy comes in a little like I want to say like a Ford Festiva or whatever the car may be, maybe one of them I want to say Yugo, but it's not.
Like they're like a Fiat or something.
They're like a Fiat, and
wow.
he doing like 80. And he
whoa!
trying to get around,
Okay.
he trying to get around all of us. So he comes up on the back of my bumper, and I'm doing the speed limit. It's just everybody's doing, and I'm not even in the fast lane. I'm in the lane next to him. He's on my bumper and all this other stuff. So I'm driving the speed limit. So he goes around me, jumps in front of me, and slams on brakes. Literally slams on brake, and I'm like, "What's the deal?" Like everybody is doing the speed limit. Like everybody's trying to be safe, driving down this highway. But he was just so aggressive. He was already aggressive, so the car wasn't causing him to be aggressive. It was his demeanor that was causing him to be aggressive. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's ice, and you're trying to do 80 miles an hour in traffic for one, because it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's ice, and you're trying to do 80.
And man, you know, it's some people that drive these cars like they stole them.
Right.
And that's because when they hit that boom, 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 boom,
they get that wheel in their hand.
It make them punch it, bro.
Right.
They punch it. But see, me, I understand when I boom, 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 $5. I'm not punching that Chevy. I'm trying to tell you, I coast into 50, bro.
Right.
Because when you boom, 60, 70, 80, 90, all that, boom, boom, 130 and all that, man, like you're endangering yourself. And then I gotta go get me some more premium.
Right.
$50 down the drain, y'all.
But you know, we watch videos on YouTube all the time of just how
peeling out donuts and all that, man. I'm not finna peel out in them racing tires and put smoke on them. Oh no.
I'm thinking about they buy tires every weekend,
bruh. What I'm trying to tell you, see, when you start driving these performance enhanced cars and shit, you start understanding, man. I done had the tire pressure start going out in them tires because they built for racing. So you got to blow them bitches up and keep airing them all the time, man. You know, and I'm like, damn, this is a new for me, you know. But I like it. I'm gonna do it, you know. But I'm not gonna punch it intentionally to, you see what I'm saying? Have to keep doing this. Them tires be expensive. You know?
Mean, them cars be in them cars, and they be doing donuts and peeling out and doing, and there be a whole crowd around them, which causes more aggression, to be honest with you, because now they want to show out for the crowd. But I'm thinking to myself, like, how can these people afford new tires every weekend? Because you come to peel out and do all this, your tires are shot once you're done. And these tires are not cheap. We talking about $200-$300 a tire.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, sometimes $300, $400, $500.
Right.
You know what you're trying to do, and you got the rims that you want to put in them, make sure they right, and they on dubs or better.
Right.
But so another thing that I wanted to talk about though was the same scenarios and situations, right, with different generations. So it's almost like we living in a movie or a sitcom. And I'm like we still dealing with racism, and we had to deal with like the outbursts and slip ups, you know what I'm saying, as far as people with authority, and the police still are, you know, doing what they do with us, the unjust judicial system, and systematic poverty, right? So these are the things that we can agree that our parents have gone through it. Our grandparents have gone through it.
Most definitely.
Great grandparents have gone through it.
Most definitely.
So probably great grandparents have gone through it, right? So why are we like kind of like making this our heritage, as opposed to like we're making the most money we've ever made with these generations right here, you know? But we're taking and we backtracking. Basically, we're doing some of the same shit, like I said, that the previous ones did. Besides uniting, to make something different, make a different story for ourselves. Right. You see what I'm saying? For the youth to be able to relay and pass down to their kids. Like, in other words, if let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. I could tell my daughter, well, you know, when I was growing up, I heard Mr. Wendell. You see what I'm saying? Or I heard Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Right. We had Lauryn Hill, okay? So now imagine if my daughter has a child and she's like, well, we had NBA Youngboy, right. Kodak, you see what I'm saying? Or something that could be drill music. Right. All right, so if that's where you're starting from, and that's where your point is, then if you feed that into a seed, if you water that into your seed, what is that seed going to come back as, right? All right, so
I get what you're saying now, and that's has already happened. But I think a lot of times we don't realize that the music is made for us to regress. It's made for us not to advance forward. That's what sells. Regression is what sells. You look at, you know, we hate to keep bringing her up as a subject, but it's just the way it is now. You look at Sexy Red and all that, how that makes women regress. It's a regression of music. It's not necessarily anything that's going to be positive to make you enlighten your mind, make you think, and make you feel like, okay, this is my brother right here. I need to talk to him. We need to get together. We need to figure out what we can do to make the community stronger. That's not the music that they're selling now, and that's not the music, unfortunately, that the generation is listening to. You get what I'm saying? So,
but okay, so I'm gonna get to that a little bit later in what I got, because that's letting the youth lead. Okay. And see, when you have a purpose, and when you have a mind, and when you have a vision, and you have a goal, you have a movement, your age ain't supposed to muffle your mouth. Right. All right, but we'll get on that a little bit later. Now, what I was gonna say with this is, okay, so we gonna get to the systematic poverty on this thing. Now, with all these millionaires, couple of billionaires right here, you know what I'm saying? We still in the systematic poverty. Now we can look at, let's just say we look at Ye or Yeezy as an example of how you can make money, how you can try to get certain corporations maybe by the balls or whatever you want, or negotiate how you want, right? But now, how does that help us as a whole? Right.
It doesn't help us as a whole if he doesn't choose to help us. You get what I'm saying? Like, we always talk about, we've talked about it on this show, about us helping each other. Each one teach one, each one reach one. But it doesn't necessarily help us unless he chooses to do that. And he has his ways that he chooses to do things. All millionaires and billionaires within our community have the ways in which they think is the best way to help us. It may not be necessarily the way, because it doesn't trickle down in any way. Because I've said many times, way back in the early 90s and 2000s, I said, well, why don't all these guys get together and create their own distribution for music, their own distribution? Since rap music is the dominant genre now, why don't they all get together? They all must still have their own separate audience, because everybody's music tastes are different. So it's not going to, degenerate from the money none. But if they all get together and create their own distribution to where they don't have to use Sony or Warner Brothers as distribution. Sure, they have a record label, but the other companies like Warner, Sony, and all those Universal are the distribution hub of their record company. You get what I'm saying? Of their record label. So why don't they all get together, create one unified record label, one distribution, and X those other people? Wow, I said that a million times. Why don't they do that? And I think it's because they think it's going to be less money on the table for them. But if they really think about it, everybody's musical taste is different. So we're all still going to listen to what we listen to. We're just going to be listening to it off of this one unified music distribution and label. But they don't do that. So, you get what I'm saying? That could help. So you control the genre and you control the music that's coming out.
But okay, still, when I'm talking systematic poverty, I'm talking like how we've accepted. I'll just put it to you like this: like, Section 8 is really not helping anymore, even though it's appearing as though it does. But if you got to be destitute to be helped,
how you think it doesn't help when a person can't? I mean, we're talking about rents now.
Well, I look at it like this: in EBT, right? Like, for somebody like me who let's say if you didn't really have enough, but it was deemed enough by the state or whatever to not give you EBT, then how do you live? You live like you're supposed to be living. You got to get it. You got to do for yourself, right?
Right.
So that means they're not giving me, I would say, a crutch or assistance. But you got to tell them all these information about yourself. You got to go in there down bad to get it, don't you? You got to be stressed the fuck out to get it, right?
Yes.
So how is that helping you? Right? It's aiding you to a degree, right? But it's almost like giving you some poison or hooking you to something where if you're not going to get off of it, like you don't want to be on it for 10 years, 20 years, do you? You don't want to pay, and then it has stipulations to it. You can't have a man in the house with the shit. You see what I'm saying?
I think that you're honestly perpetuating the image that most people who are on public assistance or whatever the case may be is on it forever, and that's not the case. What happens is most of the time, I don't want us to go down the road of perpetuating that image of black folks being on public assistance because that's not the case.
I never said a color, though.
Most times what happens is we get on it to get assistance, but we also get off of it because, like you just said, it only takes $1 more up for them to kick us off anyway. They don't want us on it anyway, so a lot of times we get off of it voluntarily because, like you just said, it's so much to keep it. You got to give them all your information. You got to kick the husband out. You got to do all this. And a lot of us don't want that stress, don't want that smoke. So we get off it voluntarily.
So what to me, what helps a community, what helps a culture more? Being able to have two people in the household or raise someone, or, I got a roof over my head, but he ain't in here with me.
Well, if you got two people in the household and y'all homeless, how does that help? Because the cost of living is so high now. Two people in the household can't necessarily make a living. I mean, but if you have a roof over your head with your children, that may help. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get it. I understand it 100%. But in today's society, I don't know if one outweighs the other one because it's just so hard to make an ends meet nowadays. And
that's where I'm going with this. In today's society,
right?
Like common sense to me would tell me, one, not to have put myself in certain situations, like not to have multiple kids if I can't afford the one I have.
Now that I agree with.
Pick people that, so let's say, I have one child. I'm not married, so I don't have two. Right. I don't have 3, 4, 5. I learn from my mistakes because common sense lets me know, hell, if I couldn't get it right the first time, don't just, you see, but
I get what I agree
when you
with
start
you 100%.
accepting the crutches, when you start accepting the mentality of, well, if I do this, this can be here for me, then you start doing those things when it's not there for you.
See, now you presented it better.
Well, you got to dosed up. Sometimes the milligrams got to be small.
Yes.
I got to give you a baby vitamin.
I'm going to give you that. If you are getting assistance, it may prevent you from thinking wisely about the choices that you make. I get it. I understand. When the
option is there, you sometimes you take it. When it's not, then you are forced to better yourself.
Right.
You are forced to make the. Okay. I'll give you one thing that make people stray from that'll definitely keep your ass in line. And that's religion. If you really went by the code like you're supposed to, you wouldn't be needing a lot of this stuff.
But most people with religion don't practice what they preach.
Oh no, exactly.
People don't live how they supposed to live when it comes to religion. Is all. So that part right there in itself, even the people who claim to be religious don't live the way they're supposed to live and do what they claim that they follow what they claim that they study. So
now this is one thing that's funny to me because people will sit up here and be like, when you study our history, you know what they're gonna go to, the slavery part and all this, and who treated us a certain way, right?
Right.
But now, you fast forward to today, and who treated us a certain way? But they be embarrassed about the past, and that shit still going on now. It's just not as obvious and as brutal, right. But I would say, some of the theatrics that I've seen on IG and I've seen on video about us being unarmed and what happened to us,
right?
It ain't no happy ending,
right?
And the same scenario playing out,
right?
So which
comment real quick. So they says people just have kids and don't think of how they will take care of them.
Well, see, a kid is an extension of yourself. So I want to take best kind of care I can of myself. And your kid is your future. That's another episode I'm gonna get on. The future, right?
Right.
We're throwing the future away with the way we raise these kids. You looking at it. I
agree with you on that.
Like seriously, like the reason why I support my daughter and I put money into what she wants to do is because I want her to be able to be successful, so that if I need. And let me tell you what's so funny. These people, this is some shit right here. As far as the conscious mind need to play out on this. So the women be like, oh, this man got to pay for this and this and this and this and that for me, right? He got to give me more than 50%. But I got a child, right? So I'm supposed to take from my child for you, and I don't know you, when you definitely don't be taking for your child to get a no kind of man. Right. So what we trying to do here, like, what stipulations we got out here? How we raising these kids, man? Because you want it all. What your kid get? Right. You sitting on your ass. How we raise in the future then? You don't want to work. Somebody got to take care of you. But you single raising a son that you taking care of. Then you make excuses for his ass when he do the woman like how you raising him.
Right, he 22. He living at
we
home.
Living backwards, man. You know.
I agree with you 100%. I think that whole, you got to take care of me and all that kind of stuff is a way to destroy the black family. To be honest with you, because. At one point we were all figuring that part out, and now we got this whole battle of, your man got to pay 100% of my bills, and I think that's a story and a scenario that's perpetuated by social media and trying to destroy the black family. That's my 100% honest, because if we're bickering at each other, like you just said, about who's going to pay for this, who's paying for that, but I got kids and you got kids, and you want me to take care of my kids to get your kids. How do we do that? I'd just rather not be around you. So that breaks up the black family, because we're not getting together, because you're not going to take care from your kids. Not going to take away from your kids to get to her kids. And she damn sure not going to take away from us to get to you. So it makes a split. It makes a tear in the relationship.
And meanwhile, government steadily inflating and increasing the price of things. Which also tweaks and can mess up relationships.
I mean, like you think about the food, the meat company, and then people don't realize this. They go on YouTube, they'll find it on the Perfect Union podcast, how the meat companies conspire with each other to keep the rates of meats higher. They, during the pandemic, they tried to make it seem like there was a shortage, but it really wasn't. They were just wanted the highest prices they could get, so they would talk with each other and say, I'm getting $500 a pound over here. You only get $200. You need to raise yours up to the $500. You get what I'm saying? So those things, we have those things that conspire to keep us separated and struggling too.
So another thing that I kind of want to touch on though is like, why the trends that are being set and that that I ain't following them, but a lot of people are following. First of all, they set and they letting the youth lead. Give me an example. Man, the latest dance on TikTok or something. Okay. Like, you don't see that flooding the timeline. Like, you got adults trying to do this. Or why can't something of intellect trend and lead and be challenging? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, why it always got to be who can do a stupid ass dance over and over and over and over?
That's the algorithm. We talked about this before on your show. That's the algorithm putting in front of you what they want you to see.
But see, okay, now getting high is trends. Whatever you wearing, wearing crap that just don't make no sense, man. You know what I'm saying? Where the morals and the values and the content, it's the no substance content that's leading.
The brainless content.
Brainless content, but we supposed to be sharp, right? We say we conscious. We say we want to do something. We want things done for us, but we playing. Man, come on, man. Like
we make this stuff popular. We make the mess popular. What we talked about before. Couple of podcasts back, the balloon, popping the balloon and all that kind of trend and stuff that they do, and it gets millions of views because that's the mess people want to see, whereas we're trying to talk about improving the community and talking about how to make the future of our future of ourselves brighter, and we get 2 views. But if I get you, I bet you if you get a girl,
glorify some ignorance,
right? You get a girl on the couch right now twerking and you popping balloons on it, it'll get millions of views. You get what I'm saying?
But see,
the conscious effort is never celebrated.
So here's the thing, though. Like, first of all, I can always dumb it down, but some of them can't elevate it. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
So I'ma stay elevated because right now what I'm trying to do is I'm an imprint, bro. Like I want my work to live on after me. So what you gotta understand is, like you said, we touched on that on some of these things episodes ago, that some people still ain't seen. You see what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that, because when this shit revolve around to the point where you're gonna need some type of voice of common sense in your head, I'm already out there. Just look me up somewhere in the metaverse, and you got all the dosages you need, because from day one we coming with what, you know, with sense. Like I'm not finna present no ignorance. It just, we got too much of it. Right. You know, and we don't have enough time as it is to try to change this shit. You know how many years? Because we got people that's fighting to, they already like 50 to 100 years advanced in enslaving us. So to even have a fighting chance of that, you gotta wake up, which we ain't. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about wait in no woke spot. I mean, like, you just gotta trigger something in your mind and be like, all right, I see I'm looking at ignorance. I'm not falling for the bait. And we let it slide too many times.
How many people do you think has the common sense and the waywardness to understand that this ain't where it at?
It's a lot of them out there. Right. But that don't mean they got the resources to do what I'm doing. That don't mean they might want to invest the time to do what I'm doing. That doesn't mean they have the skill to portray it or relate it or relay it or say it. Maybe like how I do. Right. Like all of us ain't built the same. Some of us know better but don't want to do better, or some of us know it but just choose to keep it within their household.
I get it.
Me, I mean, you know, the lane that I'm in, what I want to do, the purpose that I have, I'm speaking on it. Like, if you'd have caught me maybe 10 years ago, I probably would have been like, man, I'm doing a transaction right now. First of all, hell no, or something. You see what I'm saying? But now I'm like, I just look around me and it's time, man. You know, it's a lot of zombie looking like people going around. Like, and I ain't talking about zombies like eat your brain zombies. I'm talking about zombies like mentally gone zombies, health-wise gone zombies, perk zombies. You know what I'm saying? Xanax zombies, lean zombies, negative zombies. You just mad at the world. I think
negativeness. I think negative zombies are more prevalent than any of them, because you think, like you said, you look at things on social media, you look at things in the world of news and all that. The negative stuff always floats to the top.
Yeah, man. I mean,
the mess always floats to the top.
But
it says that people also abuse the help that messes it up for people that will get it and do it right. I guess what we were talking about earlier, coming out of poverty and the assistance program. But damn, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were talking about like the negatives and the zombies and stuff like that.
The negative stuff always floats to the top, and for some reason, even when we try, like you say, you try not to get into it, but it seems to always be on your, you know what I'm saying, on your explore page, or it always seems to pop up within your timeline, and that's what keeps you from being on social media so much because of that. But like we said earlier, that's how they want you to think. That's what they want you to consume. They want you to rot your brain in a way that you won't think about the stuff that you're taking in. It'd be so normal that you just look at it, you like it, you keep going, and as you keep seeing and seeing and seeing, it becomes normal.
But it's not. Like, up will never be down. Right. So no matter how many times you try to put that in my face and normalize it, then I'm just gonna say I'm normally looking at negative things. I'm not gonna say that negative is what's supposed to be happening. Right. I'm just gonna be like, man, here we go again with the dose of the negative. Can we please clean it up at some point? Like, you have to be the thorn in the side of that. And when you give that up, what's gonna happen is you erase the line of good and evil. So now there are no holds bars. Like, okay, you don't want the norm to be 6-year-olds are armed. Right. So with that being said, the next thing that I'm gonna get on, because this is becoming the norm too. Well, first of all, like, how is cleaning and cooking gender specific when those are survival skills and traits? Like, I don't expect, first of all, I expect to do that myself.
Right. Most definitely.
I expect the next person to be able to do that.
Right.
I expect kids to be learning how to do that.
Right. All kids, all children.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, like,
I learned how to cook when I was 7 or 8.
well, if you hungry, you gotta eat.
You're right.
So if you have something in the house, you cook it.
Right.
I mean, what else is there to do? I'm not
why
finna
you
look
waiting
around.
on
Hey,
somebody
man,
else?
a woman is not touching that, so I can't eat it, or I don't know how to make it because a woman not doing it for me, man. Like, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna make what I gotta eat. Like, and cleaning though. Like, cleanliness is close to godliness anyway.
Right.
So what you doing? Running around musty because you ain't got a girlfriend? You
Your
single or
clothes-
something?
your clothes
I'm gonna
dirty
be as
'cause you
musty
can't
as I
wash.
can be. Yeah, like, how you expect to attract a woman, man? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, dude, man, I'm not finna. Oh, my clothes are dirty because I ain't got a woman.
Right.
Like,
I think that's something to tear the family apart because
Mm-hmm.
you think about, like you said, back in the day when we were growing up, that wasn't something that was specific to our mothers or our grandmothers. If we had to wash our clothes, she told us to go in
man,
there.
them are chores.
Right, go in there.
You clean them bitches and you wash them. You
There
iron
you
them.
go.
You folded
Wash
them and you
them
put them up.
dishes, Wash them dishes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Wash
yep.
them clothes, fold
Yep,
them up,
yep,
put them
yep,
away.
yep.
Those are things you learned younger back in the day. It's not something that I need to wait on my grandmama to do because if I'm going to wait on my grandma to do it, it's not going to get done because she's going to teach me a lesson.
But not only that,
You're
man,
going to be hungry.
I'm just saying. Not and just a little tip for the fellas if you're out there listening, man. Like, to help a woman clean and cook, that gonna get you some cool points, bro. Like, throw some music on, burn you one of them Bath and Body Works counters. I'm gonna let you know that now. Dim the lights a little bit, and walk up in there in that kitchen with her and get to putting in some work with her.
Right.
And you'll be surprised at how the day ends. Hey, you might even want to sip some wine while y'all do that thing.
Or
and just ask her and talk about how her day went and cook together and get this shit over with, bro.
Or
do the dishes when she
tell her,
finish.
walk in and say, "Hey, sit down, baby. I got this."
You can do that. The meal can already be made for her when she get there.
It's player.
Hey,
it's
man,
player.
I'm telling you. Or I'm going to tell you something else, player, man. Have date night where you go and it's a chef that tell y'all both what to do and y'all both cook together. You can do that. Or you can just order some shit for her or something. But, hey, take the pressure off of that. She got to cook all the damn time. You supposed to know how to do it yourself anyway, homie. Now that was kind of simple. We ain't got to draw that out.
Right.
But hey, now this is what I don't like. Definitely putting disclaimers on this. Why in the hell are people abusing these C-class narcotics for recreation? Like they don't have side effects, like they can't be addictive, and the youth that are doing them, you're doing them at a young age. So what you're doing to yourself now, because I'm in the pharmaceutical field, you're going to make it so at some point your body is going to be immune to it. And when you get older in life and you need that as a painkiller or you need that as an anesthetic, it ain't going to work.
Right.
Because you already dosed up off of this.
Right.
And then the sad part about this is that you are now seeking them and they're not even prescribed. So people are making them. So you don't even know what's in what you're taking, but you shouldn't be taking anyway. To brag about these things, for these things to be considered to be trending, to be cool, is unacceptable.
Most definitely.
We're seeing a lot of our celebrities, a lot of our youth unalive themselves before time. Like, they younger than us.
Right.
Like, parents, man, like, get a grip, man. Start, like, monitoring, man. Like, and if you got friends that you concerned about, like, I don't let my friends get strung out.
Right.
I just don't. Like, I have some that have gone down that road and they'll let you know, man, like, don't be coming to my house like that. You ain't doing that at my house. You know what I'm saying? I tell them they should know better. I do everything but put hands on them. And sometimes I damn near do that. Like, shove them a little bit, like, make it hell on. Like, man, like, and if it don't work, then just don't be around me. But, because I don't promote it. But, I'm seeing that our generation wasn't like that.
Yeah. Well, no, we wasn't. I can't say we was.
See what I'm saying? No, like,
I can't say. I'm thinking back. I'm like, no.
And I mean, from generation to generation, we've had our vices.
Right.
And we've had bad habits to kick.
Right.
But not like this.
No.
And all these multiple substances.
I mean, we just, again, when they had the crack epidemic and all that stuff, of course you had older people who got addicted to it. They didn't know what it was. But us as children saw what it did to them, and we knew to stay away from it. It's like we was like saying to ourselves, like, man, I ain't finna be no crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just knew not to mess with it, and we didn't. I mean, sure, you had some that smoked cigarettes, you had some that did, other things like marijuana, but as far as just hard drugs, we didn't really do that in our youth. I mean, not at all for me. And
just to make a few pointers, crack was unexpected and kind of put into the community. And I ain't heard no music like, I smoke crack and I'm proud of it. I do this, you know what I'm saying? I'm on that. That Krizak, my guy, like, I ain't never heard that. So what's with I'm on the oxys, the perks, the roxys, and this, like, when like you don't never hear me say that. And I don't promote that. And
you're right, the music does say that. Like
yeah, they proud of their demise.
They're proud of their own destruction.
And that ain't cool.
That needs to change too, though.
Yeah,
we really need artists. We really need artists to wake up,
join the shit out of them.
Make conscious effort to say to themselves, look, okay, we talked about this. We done made millions out. We need to make a shift. A shift really needs to happen, because how long can you keep talking about the same shit? Like,
not only that, are you an entertainer or are you an addict?
Right.
And
then
then
change the narrative.
You got millions and you still talking about trafficking?
Right. Like, you still talking about the same shit? Like, at what point do you grow up and grow out of that mentality?
So we still gonna get to that, because that mentality is the youthful mentality. And I said we let the youth lead. Like it could be trending for, like, why don't adults trend with whatever the hell they going through?
Right.
You see, but the algorithm is set towards youthful ignorance rather than, or something negative happening to somebody older.
Awareness.
Yeah, but see, that can change when the right people that make the right amount of money put themselves in positions to be seen and be heard.
Right.
All right, so we went from that to okay, like, we still kind of touched on like how we raising the generation to be like exactly like how we don't want. Like, I don't want to raise young men to be dependent on a woman. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to raise young women to think they don't need a man in the household.
Right.
I don't want to raise young women to think that they need to be on their back to make money. I don't want to raise young men to think that you need a weapon to be cool or to defend yourself.
Right.
I don't want to raise, it's all these are like red flags. I don't want to raise women to think that they have to degrade themselves to think that they're attractive, or they have to have all this makeup. You got to go under the knife, on the surgery. You got to have all these extensions, these weaves. You got to spray paint your face basically and hide the inner beauty that you have. Like, these women now starting to look like AI.
Right.
And you don't have to. That's what I be trying to say. Like, we got to start embracing the beauty that we have of just being a normal
person.
Yeah, like, you don't have to be fabulous going to the grocery store. I'm serious. Like,
I get you. I get what you're saying. I get
like
what you're
your
saying.
head
I've
on
seen women in the grocery store with heels on. We at the grocery store. Like, come on now. Come on now.
I want the real you.
Right.
Yeah, like, I saw someone put up like, oh yeah, I think it was Donna or somebody like it was basically about like not necessarily having to have makeup, like, as a kind of like a requirement or something. I don't know, man. But my thing is like, yeah. Oh no, it wasn't her, but I do know who it was, and they were asking like, do you need to see them without their makeup? You know what I'm saying? To be comfortable. And I'm like, hell yeah. First of all, I choose women with the least amount of makeup.
Okay.
Because that shows to me that you're confident in what you look. Man, you don't have to put all that on. But maybe they look at that as a guy that's bald or something, or receding hairline, want to hide it. I don't know.
Maybe, but they don't look at
But it be a lot of beautiful women that don't even need the shit.
They do. And then we talk about BBLs.
And you need to know that don't age well.
But you also need to know that's not something we want.
No. And then what I don't want women to do is this. I don't want them to waste their beautiful young years with the man and the men that don't want them, that drag you through there, and you miss that guy that know what love is, that willing to love you at your where you are now, and then you blow it and you get out of shape, or you just been ran through, you financially just can't handle it no more, whatever, and you searching for him in your late 30s, 40s, and all this,
right?
And you can't find them because you need to be with that person now. Like, I see women struggling, like taking on 2 and 3 jobs because the man that they got won't support their dreams. And I'm like, you wasting the years that these years you supposed to have with a man that will support that
all the time, especially when you get up into our age, like 40s, 50s, or maybe late 30s, early 40s. You're supposed to have someone who you can count on all the time. But to be honest with you, I think the situation that we have now going on is you just can't trust folks nowadays like that. You just can't.
Well,
I mean, I know what you're going to say is different, but I'm talking about as far as my perspective is, you really just can't trust people 100% like that. You've got to have a backup sometimes because people can disappoint. It's just
you're right.
It's just the way it is. People disappoint you all the time.
So here's the thing, though. But I'm trying to give women game, though.
Okay.
Knowledge, because this is how the man is winning. If it's about my pockets when I'm younger, and it's about my pockets when I'm older, I'm winning. If my pockets are on point. But if it's about a woman's body, and women are asking you to bring everything to the table, and they're not bringing anything, and if it's about their body when they're younger, right? And they're not necessarily getting the finances, and they're using their body, and their body is being abused by the man when they're younger, then what's gonna happen when they're older? What you falling back on? But see, what I love about the older generation, or our generation, the women that are more mature, they got theirs,
right?
With or without a man,
right.
And they understand. They're not that I don't need a man type mentality,
right?
They're just that they're not going to settle for a bullshit man mentality.
Right.
These young women are be like, they don't want to settle regardless, and it's a men on point trying to holler at them.
Right.
So I'm like, what are you looking for? What are you trying to prove? And don't waste these years, I'm trying to tell you, because when you finally do wisen up, like the beautiful women of my generation that have it and are looking for someone but just can't necessarily align right, it's not their fault.
Right.
But it's going to be them young women's fault. You see, especially if they're not taking care of that body that they drive.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I agree with you. I think a lot of times, though, again, we talk about this all the time. It's the image and the algorithm that's portrayed. And we lead with our money. Men lead with money. Let's just be 100%.
I lead with my mind.
We lead with our wallet.
I be leading with my mind, bro.
It's just, well, you 1 out of a million. It's just the way that it goes. It's just, you think about all these guys on social media with their diamonds, and they got to show you their Cybertrucks, and they got to show you their Mercedes, and they got to show you this. We lead with our wallet because you got to be fly to catch a girl's eye. It's just 100%. And the only way you can be the flyest is to dress nice. A woman is not going to talk to you because she says you have a great mind. The first thing she's going to be attracted to is how you dress and how you look. That's just 100% the way it goes. You can't tell you have a good mind until we have a conversation with each other. No.
Watch this. I got you. Okay.
She may have a good mind too, but what do we see? We see her body. We see the way she looks, the way she may smell. We like, oh shit, she look fly. It's just the way of the world. You can't judge a book. You can't have a conversation or say, oh, that person's got a great mind before you see the cover. You gotta open the cover to get inside the book.
All right, so this is how I let a woman know I got a great mind without even talking. I open the door and let her go through it before me, first of all. I ain't even got to say shit. That right there in itself is half of some of it, right? Okay, when you sit down, do you pull the seat out for them? That kind of shows I got a pretty good mind or some courtesy, or I've been taught, or I'm thinking on certain levels. When you order certain things, are you considerate of that person? So that's where I'm talking about, where my mind is. Before I even pull my wallet out, I've already impressed her. See, I'm thinking ahead of the game.
Right.
You could be an asshole with money.
That's true.
You could be arrogant with money.
That's true.
Because your mind ain't in the right place. My mind helps me make money. Last time I checked, who make money without using their brain?
Right. That's true.
So I use my mind, bruh. And my mind might talk up on the woman, and the woman pay for me. You never know.
Yeah, but she's not going to know that you have a great mind until you do whatever you say you're gonna do, and you have that conversation. I'm just sorry. She's not gonna notice your mind from across the room.
But you might be surprised, bro. Wear a suit and tie. What does that tell a woman?
Okay.
I'm just trying to say, bro. Like, you gotta understand, man. I ain't gonna say I specialize in trying to, like, but okay. What I'm trying to tell you is we all have powers. Some of us have unlocked them, some haven't. But you ever finish somebody's sentence for them?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you do that with your mind? Were you thinking in a certain way?
Yeah, because we thought.
You ever send a signal or a message to a woman without even saying anything? Eye contact in a certain way?
I don't know, because I'm not that fly.
Oh, okay. Well,
I just, you know why I don't know? Because if I do send the signal, I probably turned away and started doing something else and didn't notice that she caught the signal. You get what I'm saying?
So
like,
I'm gonna do this right now
staring.
on air and just let somebody know. One sign of my intelligence, and I'm gonna do it while I'm live. But I'm sitting down, right? And it's a whole bunch of people in no more seats, and I just do this. And then I let that woman right there sit down.
Right.
Certain things did I say anything?
No.
Okay. Did I show how much money I had?
No.
No. But is it a sign of some type of intelligence, or some type of my mind is thinking, working
it's
to be courteous?
Of being a gentleman.
But you got to think to do that, though, don't you?
Not necessarily.
Oh, shit. So I'm just involuntarily, my mind just, oh, no, I had to think. I had to process that, bruh. Oh, trust me. You process it now. But what you do is you don't take advantage of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I say, I mean, to each his own. Now, I'm not crazy. Money does come into play.
Right.
And women be judging by the money. They ain't judging me by my mind. But when you get the ones that do, then those are the ones you start putting to the side. And you start cutting the ones that judge you for your money out. Because you don't want the ones that want you for your money.
Right.
You want the ones that want you for your mind. You want the ones that want you for you, for how you think, for how you get your money, for who you are, for your characters, for your ethics, for your values. If you want me for my money, I can't fuck with you.
Right.
Because what happens if I'm broke? What happens if I'm in between?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I just don't want to spend the money on you at that time?
Right.
Now we got issues.
Right. I get it.
But if you want me for my mind, then guess what? My mind is going to tell me to spend my money on you.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm trying to give these women hints, bruh. That's all I'm saying.
We're going to take the hints.
Hey.
We're taking the hints.
All right. So the next issue that I wanted to talk about, because I see this conscious-wise, and I said this the other day because I'm getting older, but we depopulating ourselves.
Let me say one thing. I'm going to tell you how the algorithm works.
Uh-huh.
We were just talking about relationships and women and men, and how to be smarter and more intelligent when your approach. And because we're talking about positive things, Facebook cut off. I got it back up, but it cut off. Literally, as we were talking about these things, it just cut off. So you get what I'm saying when I say the algorithm puts things in front of you that are necessarily not positive. They put the more negative things in front of you because that's what they want you to consume. See, we're talking, this whole show has been about positivity and how to teach the youth and advance the future and do all these great things. And the algorithm said, no, we don't want people to know that. And they cut it off.
Well, we'll see what they do when I get to this one. Like I said, through youth violence, overdoses, incarceration, and just things like we're depopulating ourselves. breaking up family homes and values helps with that as well. Because if you can't raise people right, then they start crashing out. Right. And we had an episode about crashing out and all of that too.
We did.
But our vices, some of our habits, they're not pro-life. They're not helping us extend life as far as, you know, promotion of, like, let's say exercising, promotion of maybe veganism or healthy eating, you know. I would say that that's more of extending your years on the planet.
Okay.
It's definitely not going to help decrease anybody, you know. Right. And now the funny thing about that is, if this is going to be a touchy subject, I've literally seen one of the presidential candidates say that that's what they need to be doing. And I definitely don't promote that. And if you listen to the Dosed Up song, one, it says I touch on topics that politicians be failing to mention.
Right.
But it also says that I don't vote for nobody that don't got good intentions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And to me, that's not good intentions if that is an agenda.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And I ain't scared to talk the truth, man, because I said to someone the other day, I was like, man, people, like, we be living to tell these lies. But are we willing to unalive ourselves to tell the truth?
Nah, that's something.
Deep.
That's something.
Because I'm not running to y'all with lies.
Right.
I'm not putting nothing on the line with a lie.
Right.
But it's a lot that we got to mentally think about, improvise, and skirt around to bring you the truth nowadays.
Yeah, you most definitely. You have to thread that needle nowadays to bring the truth. You have to thread that needle to bring some positive energy into these internets. The positive energy gets blocked.
On a whole, though, on a platform like this, you should be praising the truth.
Right.
You should want that. Like, you should want folks going against the grain of lunacy and ignorance and insanity and mind fucking brainwashing tactics, man. Like,
but it's just it doesn't get anywhere. It doesn't not only with the algorithm and social media, but it doesn't get anywhere a lot of times with the people watching. So with the people who consumes it. Like, we talk about mess, we talk about popping the balloons and stuff. We talk about how that just gets millions and millions and millions of views, whereas we sit here and talk positivity, we may get 100 views. So if we reach one, we gonna teach one.
That's how I am.
But still,
4 or 5 views, I'm good.
Right.
Somebody saw it.
And
that's all I need. They can tell somebody else. They can tell somebody. Yeah. Like, it's out there, because I know, man, I'm before my time. Like, this might be boring to some people.
Right.
Man, and if it ain't for you, but see, like minds are gonna attract to this. This is magnetic energy right here. Like, you gotta be on the square, on the level of knowing me or wanting to do better, wanting to seek out something with your time and stumble upon this. And I'm good. Like, I'm like treasure in the sand, bruh. You find me, you got gold.
Right.
You don't. You just, hey man, you just passing it up. But I say that to say we finna get on, like, what we consider wealth and status nowadays would be spending and supporting other cultures and buying expensive brands and etc., rather than building and giving back and investing in our own. And like, when it come to us, what we consider wealth and status is passing out turkeys rather than creating jobs. Yeah. Pencil drives and shit.
Right.
Rather than creating jobs and opportunities.
Right.
That's passing out wealth to me.
Right. Oh, okay.
So now I ain't passed out no turkey, but I paid a bill or two for people.
Right.
I support businesses, black owned businesses, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that I can get on the airwaves and speak to you.
Right.
So my money is generated in the hood, y'all.
Right.
I'm supporting people. Trust me. You see what I'm saying? I done bought plenty products from people that I didn't get. Plenty products that I did get.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I try to organize groups of my own. I'm trying to. Y'all go see. We trying to get these skits and things together.
Right.
All you see is nothing but us.
That's right.
You know. I'ma support what we got going on. I feel great when I do that.
Most definitely.
But not everybody does, man. Like, you run to support everybody but you. And it's cool to support other people, but support yourself too.
First,
support us too. Like, yeah,
right.
you know,
like,
cause
as much effort as you put in supporting other folks, put that same amount of effort in supporting us.
Cause I'm doing business with mine and them.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let it be known that I do business with mine first.
Right.
But now I got some of them. We finna do business together, and we doing skits together, and
Right.
we gonna put it across the board because the new movement that I got, we trying to have peace, and we trying to make our money
Peace and prosperity.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
That's right.
I'm trying to tell you. I want money overseas. I want money in all states. I want money in as many cultures as I can get it in.
Right. Slick says some people just can't see you doing better than them. Sometimes that be the problem.
Well, I don't have those people around me, and I try to help people do better, which in turn makes them kind of want me around. But yeah, Slick, you right, man. People gonna be hating. They silent hate. Sometimes they hate in your presence loud.
Right, very loud.
A lot of the times it be the ones that's closest to you. But
and that'd be the hardest pill to swallow sometimes.
So what I've been finding is that when you flip the perspective of just do it like this, you are the only person that's going to invest in yourself more than anyone else. So you don't really look at it as they're hating. You look at it as they're not going to invest. They're not going to support in a way where you can get to where you need to get to.
Right.
So when you get to where you need to get to, they're not going to be around, and you don't need a reason.
Right.
They've X'd themselves out.
Right. They
like,
did you a favor, pretty much.
I've kind of already realized I'm going to have to run to the finish line by myself.
You and me both, my brother.
I mean, and I would love for some people to run this race with me, but it ain't going to happen. And I don't need to waste too much time thinking that it will.
Let me ask you a question. When you realized that, did it hurt your feelings that you was going to have to run this race by yourself? Because to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To be honest
it put
with
a
you,
chip on my shoulder.
And it did me the same way, because I realized I was going to have to run this race by myself. And I was like, you know what? Okay. Since I'm going to have to run the race by myself, try to make this a success with just being Slick, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it very vigorously. I'm going to do everything I can. If it fails, it won't be because of effort.
Because listen, that hurt that you said, that turned into confidence.
Right.
And it turned into basically what they did was they made you a self-made boss. You have to boss up. Like, I got to pay for everything that I want to get done. I'm my own boss.
Right.
But now I know it's going to get done.
Right.
So, because all it takes is the time and the finances.
Right.
I got the resources, the people.
Right.
The platforms.
Because the people that fuck with me, that deal with us, this Misfits Radio, they really fuck with us. I'm going to assume from what I feel like they do. We be in our chats and having good conversations. You know what I'm saying? I feel that way. So, yeah.
So, like, there's levels to me that people that know me know, like, I share some of those levels with some people that don't. Like, I'll give you, like, what I mean by that is I know how to manifest now to the point where I can shorten the length of time where I want this to manifest. But that comes in, like I was telling you, you have to, the dream that you want, you got to live the lifestyle now.
Okay.
And the dream starts coming together as you moonwalk through that shit.
Okay.
So if you want something to manifest for you, a lot of times it don't take a lot of spirituality. At first I thought it took that till I unlock the power of vision and sight.
Okay.
So basically, your money can make something manifest. There's long story short.
Right.
If the goal of mine is to have, let's say, an EP, I'm not manifesting that EP because I'm thinking about it. I'm manifesting that EP because I got out there and I worked. I wrote the music. I paid the producer. You see what I'm saying? And then boom, here it is. Well, it ain't magic. It's work. And then the money that I'm putting behind it, investing in myself. So once I started changing the way I perceive things, then the manifestations came quicker.
Okay.
Now, it's going to be hard for you to manifest the goal of something that's damn near impossible. That you got to take so much time, money. You might not have the resources for that manifestation. Like, let's say you want to be a race car driver, but you ain't got a car.
Right.
And you starting out now.
Right.
Your manifestations ain't gonna really work, even if you had the money for it. You could try it. I mean, you probably could, you know. I mean, but you realistically aren't gonna walk that dream like how I can walk mine.
Right. I get what you're saying.
So once you start putting them in order, man, you can handle a lot. But okay, so we were really talking about like the wealth and the status and how we kind of like drifted off into that.
Yeah. That's a part of it, though.
Yeah.
That's a part of putting in effort, investing in yourself. It's a part of wealth and status. It's the part that most people don't see. Most people don't see the effort that's put in to get to where you're at. They only see the end product. They don't see the race that's ran. You know, they only see the finish line. Most times on social media, people are posting their finish line. They're not posting the trials and tribulations, the hurdles they had to jump to get to the finish line. They just want to show you the finish line.
So this is something else that's different with the generations, and I actually have this, but you just mentioned, you said social media, but world-changing events. And I'm not talking about state to state. I'm talking about global events.
Right.
Would be like the television. All right, so if you really think about it, and you want to keep your conscience and your sanity intact, then the television was one of them type of inventions that kind of disturbed or was the first to put certain images into our minds.
Okay.
Now think about it, like if I go back when we did movies, all right, so go back to the first movie that was on this TV, and you can see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
But it was one of the damn catalysts that you can say sparked racism to a degree, and you can see it now.
Right.
Visualize it. All right. Other world-changing events would be like pharmaceutical drugs. You got them across the country.
Right.
That's world-changing. Now look at you, the demographic of who might be hooked on what.
Right.
Opioid abuse. As a senior citizen now, damn near everyone on the planet got drugs.
Right.
World changing. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because with the generations, things are happening more and more and more. These same pharmaceutical drugs did not just hit you with overdose earlier. You see what I'm saying? So world changing. The guns and the weapons.
Right. Most definitely world changing. World changing and war changing.
You had mentioned it, but well, no, AIDS or certain diseases, world changing that wasn't in the beginning that are now.
Right.
Wars,
most definitely.
Y2K, the internet, the social media.
The internet is probably one of the biggest world changing things because it made the world flat. You get what I'm saying? It created a flat world. I'm not saying that the earth is flat. I don't want everybody getting into the flat earth. I'm talking about it made the fact that I can talk to someone, and I'm in Georgia, but I can talk to someone in France within minutes, within seconds. You get what I'm saying? So they made the world flat. It made commerce flat. It made everything flat. That's why people can make millions of dollars off YouTube because they don't have to worry about it just being in America. It's in France. It's in England. It's in
I think
India. It's everywhere.
I think it opened Pandora's box because what happens if you shut it down?
Right.
See what I'm saying? What happens in the future if they like, you know what, we don't want this no more?
Well, they don't even have to shut down the internet. What if the power goes out? What if the grid? Because the power grid.
Your cell phone just shuts off.
Right.
You can't use a cell phone no more.
Right.
You just got to go on a laptop.
Right.
I think that would be kind of dope.
But if the cell phone shuts off, the laptop probably gonna shut off too. You could go on the laptop.
But you had a computer before you had the cell phone.
That's
true. I had a computer. We had computers. Computers before the cell phone, before the celly. But that's an interesting concept, bro. Like,
I think we would go crazy without our cell phone.
Go crazy,
Think about, you have all that. You have the power of a computer in your hands. So,
but we weren't crazy before it. So why would we go crazy now?
This is what we talking about.
So now we're getting somewhere. No. We're getting somewhere, right? If we will go crazy without a cell phone, just what the hell are they doing to us? Think about it.
Making us crazy. They are making us feel like this is something.
So let's go back to the car.
Right.
Triggering the emotions I just talked about. Cell phones. Come on, like, we got to be bigger than the accessories, man. We got to be bigger than the materials. The enlightenment makes you better than the material. We make the materials.
Yeah.
So why we crazy over it? Why we crazy without it?
We make it. We make the materials, but we don't put them together necessarily.
I'm gonna tell you why me not having a cell phone won't make me crazy.
Right. Give me a reason why.
Because women will still exist. You take them off the planet.
Well, how you gonna count to them?
I'll walk. I'll find a way. I'll find it. Hey man, look. Just go outside and live life, and they'll be walking around. I see them every day.
Right, that house phone.
Man, that stuff still smell good, boy. Hey, man, I can't get off of that. I'm gonna say that shit every episode.
You got to stop letting that distract you.
Hey, smell good got me.
Okay.
But look, but like I was saying, I don't need a phone as long as women are here.
Okay. So you'll go back to the old
caveman that shit.
Sitting on the phone all night talking to your girl,
and she's here in person.
Right.
I don't need the phone, man.
I got you.
Like, cause the whole point is to get her from the phone. I'm using the phone to get her here. So really, she still exists. Even if my phone cut off, don't she?
Yeah.
All right. So I still got a chance, is what I'm saying, without my phone.
You still have opportunity. You just gotta know how to work that opportunity. You gotta figure out how to get to where you gotta be.
But check this out though. This is what I don't want to be a norm, but it's coming down the pipeline, right? And this is world changing, y'all. The computer chip. I don't need to be chipped. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you won't be chipped.
The chip already in the phone. We don't need it in us. I'm just saying, man.
Let me give you a couple of comments. Slick says you gotta work hard because people don't see your dream. Social media makes you see more quickly. It shows you shit further. So I guess it means it just shows you stuff quickly and makes you see what you don't want to see, or makes you realize what you don't want to be involved with.
But my thing too is, like, if you have a dream, if it's a positive dream and you like it, why not start trying to live it?
Right.
Like, everybody be like, dreams finally come true.
Right.
They come true because you make them.
Because you make them come true. You the one who put in the work.
Hey, man. So, like, my thing is, what did you want to be? What do you want to be? Live it. Like, if you want to be a basketball player, right? Most people see their dreams to be in the NBA. But somebody dream might want to be a basketball player, right? So it's plenty. You can skin a cat plenty ways with that.
Right.
You can coach basketball. You can play overseas. You see what I'm saying? You can be in big three. You can start your own recreational league. You said the dream was to be a basketball player.
Right.
But when you not narrow it down, or when you put yourself like, oh, I got to be an NBA player now, that's a specific dream.
Right.
That's harder to walk.
I get it. Instead of
you limited yourself.
Instead of a wide array of the dream within the basketball,
Now, I don't want to sound naive and just be like, okay, my dream is to make a difference. So I'm walking in my dream. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, to make a difference in what?
Right.
And then how you going to make that difference? And what are you doing to make the difference?
But, some dreams are specific. Like,
yeah,
to be a rapper, you could be a rapper, but you can do other things to get to
All
a
right,
rapper.
so
You can be a producer that helps you become a rapper.
So here go that thing, right? My thing would be then, why do you want to be a rapper? Because if that's your dream, right? And then they start saying, oh, well, I want all the women. See what I'm saying? Then that ain't your dream. Your dream ain't to be a rapper. You just want women. You just need money. That's what I be trying to tell people. Like, all right, like, okay, so, okay, when they say they dream is to become a successful rapper, right? Okay, so when you become that rapper, what you gonna do when you after you rap, right? After you've achieved that, they want that for the money, the fame, and everything else. So I say, okay, right. So what you gonna do when you get your money? You gonna buy a car, right?
Right.
Okay, so how much does the car cost, right? Let's say your car that you want costs $50,000 to $100,000, and I give them $100,000. Go buy the car.
Okay.
Did you have to rap to do that?
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So what is your dream, bruh? Really?
My dream is to have $100,000. just with you. But I get what you're saying. But we're talking about avenues. If you want to be a rapper, there's other avenues in the straight path. You can go around it to the rapper. You can be a producer. Think about Dr. Dre. He was a producer.
Yeah.
He became a rapper, then he went back to producing. You get what I'm saying? Those things, there's other avenues. You were talking about basketball.
You can sell merchandise to rappers.
Right.
I mean, or just like, see, no, the thing is, the dream really be the money, cars, clothes.
Right.
The dream be what the rapper rapping about.
Right.
That's what you want to live. You want to live the life.
Your lifestyle is what.
So you need money.
What you're reaching for.
Man. Well, okay, money, cars, clothes, and that's all the brother knows, right?
Right.
So you got money, you got a car, you got clothes, you got a house, but you don't rap.
Right. So what you do?
Yeah, now they want to know what you do to make your money. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
you know,
right.
But believe in yourself.
There's other
And we were
avenues
saying
to
we
get
live
to
in
it.
our dreams. That's what
Right.
we do to make the money.
Right.
We live our dreams.
Live our dreams.
So I might have to work to live my dream. But I'm gonna live it.
Right.
Cause see, the dream
To the best
is
of your ability.
no, but see how I flipped it on them though. The dream is I got my dream car right now. You see, I want a good car. I got that.
Right.
The dream is you want a roof over your head.
Right.
Now you start expanding your dream when you say I want that mansion. Okay, like check it out, bruh. I saw on Instagram there's a sheik out there or whatever they call themselves. Dude got 1,700 or could be 17,000. I don't even know. I think his house is $1 billion. Whatever. He got a mansion that's worth over I don't know how many in the
Right.
you know. And I'm like, dude, like, whose dream is that?
How much space do you need?
Yeah, whose
Right.
dream is that?
Right.
Because I don't dream to own a hotel, to live in a hotel.
Right.
Because his house is bigger than the hotel.
Right.
So that ain't my dream.
Right.
So you can live your dream and still have a house. You see?
Right.
It's
A
like-
regular house.
so I'm like,
where I could yell upstairs and my girl could hear me and not have to go all the way, walk all the way.
bruh
5
got to
miles
use
to
a
the
phone
east
call.
wing.
He got to get on the internet. His waitress would literally have to have a cart.
to come to the right.
You got a waitress and a maid at the house. Like you got a staff in this bitch.
You probably got 7 to 8 kitchens.
You might have a hospital in your house.
Right.
You might as well. If you
That
got
might
it.
be his dream though. His dream may have been for that right there.
Hey,
I mean,
bro.
So you'd be surprised at what some people's dreams are. We can't say that's not his dream, and he living it to his fullest. He gotta,
Well, see, at that point, when you have everything, help somebody then. Damn.
See, there you go. See, now
You
talking
see,
the
you
language
see,
we wanna
because okay, you have. Well, I guess he is helping people by employing them, but
talk. Right.
you got 17,000 rooms in your mansion, and there's some homeless people and some poverty going on in your country.
Now
They could live in that damn mansion.
Now you talking crazy. You know people ain't finna do that. You know people are gonna go to the line and not cross it. No.
So my thing is this.
You think about all these advantages.
Because they said he has so much money that he might spend. Oh, he paid Michael Jackson $10 million to perform. Mm-hmm. That kind of money, right? Mm-hmm. So if you got that kind of money, then you can get. It shouldn't be nobody poor around you.
Man, see, and that's gonna be a whole.
That would make me feel good to accomplish a feat of how many people can I bring up out of poverty.
And that's a whole.
Let's have them challenge.
That's a whole other show we need to have. It's called Greed.
Oh yeah.
It's called Greed.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at this time. So let me get to these last few then.
Okay.
All right. Voting for the lesser evil. We gotta nullify that. Voting for people and you don't even know what their accomplishments. You gotta nullify that. Waiting every 4 years to try to make a change and a difference in the community. You gotta nullify that. You see what I'm saying? Letting these political candidates insult your intelligence with these nuts on the voters ballot, insult your intelligence by talking about collard greens and shit when you need to be talking about how you gonna do something. And wait a minute now, insult your intelligence about an inflation that they fucking created. All right, I'm getting off of that. We're gonna go to that. Don't live beyond your means trying to impress people. Impress people. You can impress me by helping somebody. You can impress me by healing somebody. You can impress me by teaching somebody. You can impress me by doing something positive. But you don't necessarily impress me at all by putting on fraudulent shit, living beyond your means, being fake, having something that you can't even afford, and making somebody else help you with that. Like, stop taking people's money and stop asking people for help when you sacking yourself, making bad decisions that you shouldn't even have made.
Right.
Like, now you taking money out of somebody else's pocket that they could be giving to somebody that really need it just because you bought something that you shouldn't be buying and you can't afford it. All right. And then that leads me to my last ones, like overindulging in the bad habits, the bad eating, the bragging about shit you shouldn't even be bragging about. You know what I'm saying? Like, invest in something that's positive. I gotta take my glasses off for that, but yeah, invest in something that's positive, like, instead of like the nonsense just because you got a lot of it, y'all. And on that note, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to peace out this thing, and I'll be back next Monday. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah. Grams leaders CCs, pounds.
Close cash, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dose up, cut this up, post up, hey, get dosed up. This for them voted like the moving, make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates, for them folk they can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly to your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch a close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune in, leaders of it, close up, pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, leaders of pounds, get your dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up, dosed up.